Ralph Regal, you were talking to us last week about this tragic death of Jamey Carney. She was an American mother of one, from an Irish-American background, had moved to Killarney and settled down there about 5 years ago. And you were also talking about the garda investigation, and there, it was looking. It was a bit of a long shot at the time, but now there has been a significant development today. Can you update us on that?
Yes, significant and quite surprising, Fionnán, because I think the Gardaí went to great pains to stress that their investigation couldn't be rushed, and only when the investigation is completed, a case file is submitted to the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, is an arrest. It's the DPP decides, is there going to be an arrest warrant? If the individual is not in the jurisdiction, well, then that involves Interpol, Europol, various foreign police forces. But of course, the news that broke in the Irish Independent today is that a 28-year-old man has been detained in Jordan. Now, this individual is the person of significant interest that Gardaí had talked about. Gardaí stressed that there was one individual of significant interest in their inquiries and that they were following a definite line of inquiry. The Irish authorities have gone to great pains, Fionnán, to stress that this detention was not at the request of the Irish authorities and was not on foot of any warrant, because, of course, there is no warrant.
Yeah, so this man is Ahmad Al-Saqar. He was the boyfriend of Jamey Carney. So the belief is that the reason he's the person of interest is that they believe that he was with her on the night that she was fatally assaulted.
Correct. And we know that he was with her for the previous weekend, which of course would have been the weekend of July the 4th, Independence Day in the US, and a significant one this year because, of course, it's the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. But Gardaí believe that he was also in Jamey Carney's company on Monday. Now, Jamey's body was found at 1:23 p.m., just at lunchtime on Tuesday, but detectives are convinced that she met her death at about 11 o'clock the previous evening. So because Mr. Al-Saqar had been with Jamey Carney earlier in the day, Gardaí wanted to talk to him about his movements. Of course, he got a bus at 3 o'clock in the morning on the Tuesday morning, just a couple of hours after Ms Carney's death. He got a bus from Killarney to Dublin Airport, and he then boarded a flight at 10 a.m. from Dublin Airport to Istanbul in Turkey. And it's clear, because until now his whereabouts were unknown, but it's clear that he travelled pretty immediately from Turkey to get back to his native country of Jordan. Now, we understand that the detention in Jordan was sanctioned by the Jordanian Directorate of Public Security. Now, that's a very, very powerful body in Jordan. I mean, Jordan, because of its geopolitical location, it's in a very difficult region. So both its military intelligence and its security agencies are very, very well trained and have a lot of experience in dealing with challenging situations. So it was sanctioned by them. But the question now is, how long will he be in detention, and what are the developments down the line? Because it's going to be a period of time, certainly not a couple of days, you're probably talking a couple of weeks before the Garda case file is anyway near the state where it can be submitted to the Director of Public Prosecutions.
So where does the investigation go from here then? Obviously the Garda case file is still underway, but there's now a diplomatic element in terms of potential repatriation or extradition to Ireland.
Yeah, there are a number of things that could happen. Our colleague Shane Phelan had a story today from the Justice Minister, Jim O'Callaghan, that while there isn't an extradition treaty in place between Ireland and Jordan, there are arrangements that can be made on a case-by-case basis. I think that has happened in the case of a matter involving the United Arab Emirates. So he was hopeful that through diplomatic channels there might be some kind of progress achieved. The easiest way out of this would be as if the individual voluntarily agrees to return to Ireland to assist Gardaí with their inquiries. Failing that, it's difficult to see what happens next. Certainly, the absence of an extradition arrangement makes it very difficult for the Irish authorities. And, several of my Garda sources have said, look, this is going to be challenging given the circumstances. But I think certainly a lot of people are surprised at the rapidity in which this man was detained in Jordan. So it's possible that there may be further surprising developments down the line.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken about Jordan's location. On one side is Israel, up top, Syria to the south, Saudi Arabia, and to its east, Iraq. But there's large tracts of the country are, in effect, arid desert, occupied by Bedouin people. So the fear here was that he could but just disappear off the radar and never be seen again.
Very much so. And there was also a suggestion that this man may have had access to other travel documents so that he may not have been, traveling or living under his own name. But again, the Jordanian authorities, they really do have exceptionally well-informed intelligence services and police services. So this man was certainly detained by them very quickly, or certainly a short period of time after he re-entered the country. I think, again, it's worth pointing out that a lot of these countries, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, countries like that, they don't, as a matter of fact, like to extradite their own citizens, particularly in cases of what you'd call criminal matters. Terrorist offences are completely different. That's a different set of rules altogether. But in this particular case, Jordan doesn't have an extradition arrangement with Ireland. Ireland doesn't have an extradition arrangement with Syria. The United States does have an arrangement with Jordan, but even still, the number of extraditions on the basis of criminal matters is exceptionally small. And a lot of those have run into difficulties over the years with the Jordanian courts because there just is a significant reluctance to extradite their own citizens to foreign jurisdictions for trial or judicial proceedings.
While we're on the geopolitics, the Americans would have significant influence politically and diplomatically and militarily in Jordan. And this is, after all, an American citizen who has been killed here.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very significant analysis, Fionnán. I think if you look at this, the very fact that Jamey Carney is an American citizen, the fact that this case has made headlines far beyond Ireland, it's made headlines in the UK, it's made headlines across North America. A lot of the New York papers in particular have run multiple stories on this. The United States gives about $1.2 billion worth of economic and military aid to Jordan every year. So there's a significant relationship between Amman and Washington, and that may very well explain the rapidity with which this man was detained. Again, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens going forward, because if this individual is not going to voluntarily cooperate with the Irish authorities, it's not quite clear what the options will be going forward. So, but again, it's a surprise that he was detained so quickly. There's a significant chance of further surprises down the tracks.
Talk to me about some other aspects of this case that have been emerging then in recent days. There is a suggestion that Mr. al-Saqar asked Jamey Carney for a sum of money only in recent weeks.
Yeah, I mean, aspects of the relationship between the pair have been coming out. They met, by all accounts, at a pro-Palestine rally in Kerry, and they struck up a friendship. I think that led to something slightly stronger. And if you certainly looking at their social media exchanges, it does seem to be quite a romantic relationship. Mr. al-Saqar would refer to Ms Carney as my heart, my love. A lot of the photographs that were posted were very romantic of clearly a couple that were involved in a very romantic relationship. But there are aspects of it, I think, that have come out. One aspect in particular was reports that he had asked her for a significant sum of money. There were other stories that we had in the Irish Independent last week that while Ms Carney loved her life in Ireland, and she saw her long-term future here to the point where she was in the process of applying for Irish citizenship, Mr. Al-Saqar seems to have his heart set on a move to the US. And again, a lot of the images that are posted on social media of the two of them together have a North American theme. For instance, to mark July the 4th, there was a photograph of Ahmad Al-Samar with Jamey Carney. Both of them were wearing the blue and orange colours of some of the famous New York teams. And the picture of them together was superimposed over a picture of Times Square. Mr. Al-Saqar had also told several individuals that he knew in Killarney that Ms Carney was helping him with the documentation where he could apply for US residency. And again, that's interesting because by all accounts, he was pursuing at the same time a residency application here in Ireland, which had not been successful.
Another suggestion is that they were actually married. What do we make of that?
Now, again, there have been reports on that. Certainly, my understanding is that there is no formal arrangement that was made, so nothing that would be recognized by authorities. That's not to say that there may not have been some type of a commitment ceremony privately between the two of them. He certainly seemed to indicate that there was some type of a commitment, if you can believe some of the things that were posted on the social media pages. But from my contacts and from the calls that I've made, Fanon, there's certainly nothing official that anyone knows about in Kerry.
Yeah, and we also have to remember here that very sadly, Jamey Carney's daughter, Michaela, only a teenager, finished her first year in secondary school in Killarney. She's obviously lost her mother now. So will Ms Carney's family, they're now caring for her?
Yeah, it's an awful situation. I think really you can't describe it as anything other than every family's worst nightmare. Here's a 13-year-old girl who's lost her mother. I mean, anyone who knew Jamey Carney described her as an absolutely devoted mother, that her daughter was her world. They socialized together. They did everything together. And the fact that this young girl has lost her mother is obviously devastating. Now, friends and family in the Killarney community have done everything they can to provide support and solidarity for this girl. Jamie's mother, Kathy, and her sister, Devon, have travelled to Kerry. There is various fundraising efforts underway to support the family. I think they're waiting for a little bit of clarity as time goes by before there's anything further, but there was certainly some very moving messages from Devon posted on social media about the type of sister that Jamie was, that she was described as insanely caring, someone who always put others above herself, and someone who was so incredibly proud of her young daughter.
Okay. Ralph Riegel, thanks for that update. I think there's no doubt we'll be back talking about this case again and the awful death of Jamey Carney.
Thanks, Madam.